they already had Grogu maybe in some back classroom working on him, and then when, little Jake Lloyd shows up in the council chamber, they're like, not another one, please, God, no.
Yeah.
Because this little shit is evil.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh. Welcome back to New Rockstars, guys. The Mandalorian Season 2 has been hinting at a dark turn for the child Grogu. So everyone who got a Baby Yoda tattoo is maybe thinking twice about that now. And everybody who named their kid Daenerys, well, they already regret that. I'm Marina Mastros, and this is Rogue Theory, the show that brings you the nerdy hot takes on the topics that you can't stop talking about. With me today to go rogue is New Rockstar's own Jedi, Erik Voss, everybody. Yes!
Oh, hello. I don't think I'm a Jedi anymore. I don't care what they say. I walked away from that order as soon as they said I couldn't get a piercing.
That was the line. That was the hard line. And we are lucky to have writer and anesthesia enthusiast Laura Sirikul here as well. Yes!
Yay. Hey, thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
And you're going to make Erik look like a piece of shit. Just because you know so much more than he does.
And you don't have to work that hard. I'm already starting at par is shit for me, I think.
Oh, guys, and please give a very warm welcome to my friend pre-New Rockstars, pre-anything, guys, pre-anything, Matt Acevedo. Yes!
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be a lot of fun.
This is Matt's first time on New Rockstars, right?
That's right. Welcome.
That's right.
Matt, this is exciting to have you on in the New Rockstars cinematic universe. It can be
That's
a
right.
universe.
This is a pretty, we got a lot to talk about in this one. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Matt is right. So chapter 14 of The Mandalorian ends with the artist formerly known as Baby Yoda in the hands of Moff Gideon and force choking some stormtroopers, like a less cuddly version of the little guy we've all grown to love. He's doing honestly a really good job of it. Like they're like little puppets and he's just throwing them against the wall. And
Yeah.
maybe it's bad, but you guys, when I was watching it, I was like, get him! Smash! Which is like not what we want. But from what we've learned in the series, this is no average Jedi student. Grogu might be Anakin or Luke level Force powerful, and the show is clearly teasing us with whether or not he's going to end up on the light or the dark side. So let's assume the worst for today.
Let's do it.
Because it is 2020 after all. So you guys, each of you pitch me on how Grogu's transition to the dark side will go down. I want to start with Erik.
Okay. So just for the sake of argument today, I love that we are assuming the worst. Yeah. Let us also assume that we have been in the darkest timeline the whole time.
Yeah.
Because here's what I'm thinking right now. I think Grogu may have already been demonstrating the traits of dark side tendencies from the beginning. And that is why the Jedi Council was so hesitant to train Anakin as a Jedi to begin with. They refused to make him a Jedi Master. And why most other Jedi didn't know about Grogu, he could have been kept away from the other Jedi in the temple as a precaution because this little shit is evil. And they already had Grogu maybe in some back classroom working on him, and then when, little Jake Lloyd shows up in the council chamber, they're like, not another one, please, God, no.
Yeah.
So that could be why Grogu now in The Mandalorian, hasn't been in Jedi hands nor the Empire hands at the start of this show. He has just been like, put him away somewhere. And that's why maybe throughout The Mandalorian, we've seen evidence of this, right? He force choked Cara Dune, and that freaked us out. And now he's force choking and thrashing around these stormtroopers. He ate these eggs. He didn't know whether they were fertilized or not. He just gobbled them up. So I think what's going to happen, I think Grogu's dark side is going to fully emerge in the finale of the season of The Mandalorian as he watches a duel between Mando and Moff Gideon, and he's going to fulfill that promise that Moff Gideon said of you're likely to poke an eye out with one of these things and turn that Darksaber on Moff Gideon.
Whoa.
So Grogu's just watching.
Yeah.
He's watching this climactic duel go down. Gideon gets the upper hand on Mando, and then his hand starts to shake. The Darksaber lifts out of his hand, but because Grogu's such a badass with this thing, he can keep it ignited as it turns back on him, kind of like Magneto with the guns and X-Men. And it goes back and it goes into his eye socket. Now
Nobody
keep him alive?
made you be that specific. Nobody made
I laugh
Erik-
because I'm morbid like that. I'm like, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Do we give him a cybernetic eye, or is this he's dead? Or is he just...
That's a good question, Matt, because I don't know if I want Giancarlo Esposito to die yet. I do want him to have some freak injury, but like we saw with Fennec Shand, she got some cybernetic abs, some steampunk, there's bellows going out coming out of it. It was nuts. And Anakin, like, he suffered a far worse fate, one could argue, on the dunes of Mustafar. So if he can come back from that, Moff Gideon can come back from this. Now, but I don't think it's going to end there. I think that just like how the saber went into Rey's hand in The Force Awakens, that is going to go right into Grogu's hand. And then, they're all going to be like, okay, kid, great, hand it back to us. Bo-Katan's going to be like, yes, that's mine. That is my family's. And Grogu's just going to be like, and he is going to wield it on them because he's freaking out. He's got the dark side flowing through him. In fact, Ahsoka is going to be like, God damn it, I knew this was going to happen. Yeah. She's going to be fighting this kid, but it's like trying to pitch for a batter who is too short. He's got no strike range. So she's going to be like, God, how do I get this thing? It's going to be like Dooku versus Yoda all over again. He's going to be bouncing all over the place. Eventually, Mando is going to be like, enough, and he's going to have to give his own life to show this child the meaning of true selflessness, and that is going to be the thing that wakes up Grogu from his evil state.
That's beautiful,
watching his beloved caretaker die in front of his eyes.
Oh my God.
Now, I just think, Tommy and I talked about this on WikiLeaks last week. I think we could be setting up for a Mando death only because it is called The Mandalorian. He is a masked character, and that Mandalorian could be a disambiguous thing and refer to lots of characters on this show. In his dying words, he could say, now you are the Mandalorian going forward. And it's like kind of a dying wish that Bo-Katan and Ahsoka fill. They become like kind of caretakers to this child, and Bo-Katan as the Mandalorian, as the heiress, says, I will train him in the way. This is the way. And Ahsoka will promise to prevent him from going in her way, the way of the Jedi. So that would make the Mandalorian live on in the child, and the Mandalorian live on in Bo-Katan.
I mean, that's great.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. That's great, man.
Yeah, when you said Grogu was going to be running around between legs, I was thinking Benny Hill music. And I was just like, that'd be really fun.
Mostly we want this to be a comedy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. I know a lot of people are like, no way they're going to kill off Pedro Pascal's character on this show. Is that really who you identify with? Some people say yes. I think you need to keep Grogu on the show. He is the face of the show.
Yeah.
You don't identify with Lone Walker? Lone Walker, brooding, mysterious. I identify with that,
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Erik, for that reason, and because you're willing to take a risk. Like, you're saying, like, this is going Game of Thrones like style, right? Like, no character is safe. We could get rid of the Mandalorian, right? And there are other Mandalorians on the show that we could follow, and it would still be, like you said, the name of the show. I also like that you made Baby Yoda. I'm still gonna call him Baby Yoda. Come on.
Sure.
Baby Yoda's story fit in with the prequels and the whole lore pre-Anakin. Like, he existed before, he was dark before Anakin came, and that's the reason that they treated Anakin the way that they did, because of him, which I like, because it's not just, we have to make this make sense, so we're going to throw it in here, and it's part of the sequential things that have already happened, like, don't get any more depth, or they don't change in any way. But because of this, the way you describe it, it actually gives everything a lot more meaning and more layers to it. Okay, so Erik, you get 2 Rogies, and what they are is little sugar skulls, little candies. So you get them. Yep, they're there.
Whoa!
And Erik, if you say anything that I don't like, then I'll just eat them.
Okay, then you just eat more.
I'll just eat candy. Great. Who wants to go next?
Okay, so this is my theory that I have. Of course, we saw a little bit of the dark side in Baby Yoda. I'm just going to call him Baby Yoda because Grogu is really hard for me to say.
Yes.
We saw a little bit of dark side, and so did Ahsoka. But I don't blame him. I think he was hiding when Anakin killed off all his friends. So I think he was hiding somewhere. So I don't blame him for being dark, because it's like, oh my god, all my friends are murdered. So I feel like, okay, he's a little bit upset, and he's mad about that. So what I believe will happen, there's going to be a showdown between Moff Gideon with his Darksaber, and then Mando with his spear. I feel like Moff Gideon's going to stab Din with his own spear, and it's going to be in the tummy. Oh. It's going to go through. And
you say it's going to be the tummy?
It's going to be the tummy because of this. So it's going to be the tummy, and he's going to fall off, like fall. The spear comes off, he falls. He's going to survive because of Robo-Tummy. We got to see Robo-Tummy in Fennel. Sean, she had a little robot.
Wait, you're calling Fennec Shan's name in your headcanon as Robo-Tummy? I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
She's going to have a Robo-Tummy. So I feel like that's foreshadowing that, that's a way that we could save Mando from Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
So Baby Yoda thinks that, oh my God, my dad got like stabbed. Oh no, like, and he dead. And so so I feel like, okay, that's when it's gonna break for him. He's gonna first pick up the spear and stab and kind of put it into Gideon, and then Gideon's gonna fall. I don't know if Gideon's gonna die or not, because we never know, and you have to use Giancarlo many times because he's amazing.
Yeah, you're really
He's amazing.
He needs to win that Emmy for once.
Yeah.
And so I feel like he'll stab that, and then that will activate his blood because they already took his blood. So that's kind of like the key that they needed to make the clones that they wanted. So, and it creates like Snoke. So I feel like that's the project that they're using, and we're going to see that the second season, where we're going to see more of the clonings, and the clones get activated because Baby Yoda was activated. Like the Sith side came and it kind of sparked something because it's mixed with Palpatine. So I feel like we're basically going to see how Baby Yoda activates the clones of Snoke's.
Whoa.
That's sick.
And Baby Yoda's going to be tired. He's going to pass out, and then they're going to collect him, and they're going to be like, oh, what are we going to do with this? And so that's how they're going to keep him for the next season, like, alive and not be dark side. They're going to be like, oh, shit, he activated something. We need to figure this out. So their next season will be focused on preventing with the clones.
I love that because in my head, I see the scene. It's not gonna look like this, but in my head, they're tapping on the glass in that. It's like a couple episodes ago. They show the like clones that didn't work, and they're tapping on the glass, and they're like, "How come we can't get these clones to work?" And then Moff Gideon has Baby Yoda. He turns to the dark side. He's like, eyes glow red. They won't. But in my head, they do. And then as soon as Baby Yoda turns to the dark side, all the clones are like, wah, and they all like turn on and wake up.
Yeah. And they all just eat a bunch of eggs and just go.
I was thinking like nude Snoke in the tank is just like, and like turns and flashes everyone. They're like, no.
That's
what is it?
That's so great. Laura, I'm gonna give you two Rogies, two little sugar skulls, so you can take them and eat them. So I'm keeping track of your guys' score. And
are you eating the scores?
I'm also eating them. So
okay.
Yeah.
Eric, you're 1 point down.
Okay.
Matt, what do you think?
All right, I'm very excited, guys. These are both amazing theories, by the way, and I love them. Yeah. All right, so hear me out. They're pulling a lot from
Rebels. That's enough, Matt. I won't hear you out.
Okay. Well, thanks, guys. That's been fun.
I'm kidding.
So they've been pulling a lot from Rebels and, the Clone Wars series and everything like that. So I think that it's going to be Thrawn is going to be the one who actually turns Grogu to the dark side. And here's why.
Okay.
Here is why.
Okay.
So I'm kind of following the same kind of formula that you guys have talked about as well. It's going to be, right now the Moff Gideon has already begun the process of turning Grogu to the dark side by having him lash out in fear and anger. Those are key elements to, to lashing out with that kind of power. So he's already begun the process. Mando and his crew are going to come rescue rescue Grogu. There is going to be a super cool showdown with the Beskar Spear and the Darksaber and Mando and Moff Gideon, and they're going to be throwing down. Probably there's going to be lava. It's going to be really cool. Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. But Din is going to lose. He'll probably get stabbed, and he's gonna be left on the floor. And before Moff Gideon gets the final blow, Grogu is going to force choke Moff Gideon and almost kill him. But Mando is going to step in as a fatherly figure because he doesn't want his new child, I guess, to kill somebody. So he's like, this is not the way. No, there's a better way. This is the way.
This is not the way.
Yes. So he will leave. He's going to leave Moff Gideon, but he's going to be defeated, and he's going to get the child. Mando's going to get the child. They're going to leave with Grogu. But then we're going to see a post-credit scene where Moff Gideon is actually talking to the big bad in charge of all of these Star Destroyers, and that is going to be of Thrawn. Because where did Thrawn go after Rebels? I think he's been planning this whole time. And Thrawn's going to be like, very interesting. He's going to like what he sees. He's going to like the progress, and it's like he's progressing well, which leads to the next season because Thrawn thinks in order to fully turn him to the dark side, he sees the relationship between Mando and Grogu, that he thinks that they need to build a tighter bond so he can like rip Mando away from him, which will fully have him lash out even more so. I think this is still the beginning steps, and at that point, that's when Thrawn's going to step in and like seduce him with the powers of the dark side and stuff like that. So that's when I think it's going to turn.
Wow.
That's cool. Yeah. I love Thrawn being the man behind the curtain behind the man behind the curtain.
Yeah, right? I think it's really cool. And I think that I'm going to say this for the next argument. Never mind. I'm going to say this for the next topic.
Oh, leaving us wanting more.
It's going to tie in. It's going to be really cool.
Okay. Right. Thrawn is a blue-skinned, red-eyed dude. He was an Imperial Admiral.
And apparently he's like a daddy, too. Like, not like a daddy, but looks like a daddy,
He's a hot daddy.
Like, he's
a hot daddy.
Like, ooh,
people
daddy.
Want like Fassbender to play him,
there's so
or
many
Benedict
things of
Cumberbatch
him.
to play him.
If you Google Thrawn and
Yeah.
daddy, people are like, daddy.
He's
he's a blue daddy, man.
Yeah.
For real.
Wow. Okay, John, you must keep that part in.
You gotta see the comic. In the comic, he's like
oh my god, yeah, he's
the best, sleeveless vest.
Like think new reboot of Samurai Jack, where he's like all rugged and like ripped. That's like that's Thrawn.
He looks like a member of a Duran Duran's like roadie crew.
Yeah,
oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like a sexy blue man group.
Yeah. So everyone's like, turn me, daddy. Turn me to the dark side. That's so funny. Okay, great. Matt, I like that. It makes it seem like, or it goes back and it retroactively says like, okay, everything that Moff Gideon has been doing has been sanctioned by Thrawn, even if Moff Gideon didn't know his exact plan. Like, he sees like, okay, this kid is turning. He's not just using him for his blood, which is like kind of something that a lower ranking person would want to do and just think like short term, like, oh, we just want his blood. Like, there's nothing else to be had from him. But like a person who's planning for the future, like what Erik was saying, like if he did want to build his own army, like he would keep him around because he's more of an asset that way. So that makes sense to me. Yeah, and also he's a blue daddy, so
blue daddy, baby.
We want him involved.
His new fleet refers to him as Thrawn Daddy.
Yeah,
Thrawn Daddy.
Yeah, everyone calls him Thrawn Daddy.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. I can't. Where have I been? If
you Google it, you'll see the fan art. It's amazing.
I'm going to do that right now. Matt, for introducing me to Thrawn Daddy, you get 3 rogies. There you go.
Thank you. Oh my gosh. Delicioso.
Que rico.
All right. Now, before we continue with the rest of the episode, I'm gonna take the wheel here to talk about some people who helped us make this episode, starting with our friends at MeUndies. Everything's a little tougher in 2020, including the holidays. We'll carve out some me time and soften the holiday stress by giving gifts from our friends at MeUndies. Their micro-modal is not only super soft, but breathable, light, impossibly cozy. Get all your gifting done from home and gift new undies, PJ sets, slippers, and everything else you need to have a stress-free and comfortable holiday. I recently got a pair of their lounge pants, and they are the perfect winter indoor wear, like luxuriously soft and comfy. I'm basically a professional lounger now, and we're getting paid to lounge. Thanks, MeUndies. And you can gift a membership with a MeUndies gift card. Their membership is a subscription that sends new pairs right to their door, so they never have to run out of undies again. With site-wide savings and exclusive sales, they automatically pay less for everything. MeUndies also has their problem-free philosophy. If you're not satisfied with any product for any reason, they'll refund or exchange it. No caveats, no questions. To get your 15% off your first order and free shipping, go to MeUndies.com/Rockstars. That's MeUndies.com/Rockstars. We also want to thank our friends at Manscaped for helping us make this episode. Look, even if you're a 50-year-old child like Grogu, you got some fur in places all over that body, and you shouldn't have to cover it in a weird little baby robe. Some of us feel like babies our entire lives until we get some uncomfortable fur, and that's where Manscaped comes in and saves you. Because Manscaped has the Lawnmower 3.0 trimmer. It helps prevent nicks and cuts so you don't end up looking like you got into a Darksaber fight that nicked and snagged and cut things you didn't want cut. The new Lawnmower 3.0 is waterproof with advanced skin-safe technology, even has a light to help you shave everywhere, so you don't have to use the light of a lightsaber when you're doing it. It's not safe to put that in certain places. They've also got the new Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer to make sure your mustache stays nice and trim and looking fine, just like Grief Kargas does, because you know that guy knows how to scape. Now, if you have smelly feet, Manscaped can also help with that. They got a foot duster, foot deodorant made to fight odor on even the funkiest of feet. If you want to smell good everywhere, the Refined Cologne by Manscaped is a clean and fresh scent designed for the refined gentleman. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code Rogue Theory at Manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at Manscaped.com. Use the code Rogue Theory. Be sure to join the Manscaped movement and keep that hair from Groguing.
There you go.
Stupid. And lastly, we want to thank our friends at ExpressVPN. No matter which side of the is Die Hard a Christmas movie or not debate you stand on, one thing is definitely true. Die Hard isn't on Netflix in the United States. 'Tis the season to be thankful, though. You can access the Netflix library where Die Hard is actually available with ExpressVPN. I did just that to access German Netflix, which is ironic because the villains of that movie are totes German, but they love that because it is on their Netflix. It's super easy. All you got to do, you fire up the ExpressVPN app and you change your location, refresh Netflix, and that's it. It thinks you're in Germany and you get access to that stuff. ExpressVPN changes your IP address so you can control where sites think you're located. Choose from almost 100 different countries. Just think about all the Netflix libraries you can get access to. And of course, it's not just for Die Hard. You can use ExpressVPN to access thousands of new titles on Netflix, Disney Plus, BBC iPlayer, you name it. ExpressVPN is ridiculously fast for streaming movies. There's never any buffering, and it always streams in 4K or HD. ExpressVPN is also compatible with all your devices. You can watch what you want on the go or on the big screen. Yippee-ki-yay! And if you visit my special link right now at expressvpn.com/rogue, you can get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free on a 1-year package. Support this show, watch what you want, and protect yourself at expressvpn.com/rogue.
Good job, Eric.
Thanks,
well
Mom.
Well said.
Okay. Just for right now, I'm in Japan. My computer's in Japan. I changed my IP address. Okay.
Good for you.
Okay, we are on to our second topic of Rogue Theory. So, teased at the end of the first episode of this season, Boba Fett showed up in all his badass bounty hunter glory in last week's episode, reclaimed his papa's armor, and now is in the Grogu rescue crew with Mando, Fennec Shand, and maybe others. Did you guys see that tweet? I don't know who it's from. We'll have to find it to credit that person, but they said the Mandalorian is just a show about a guy who can't stop making best friends.
I did see that. He's literally every Shonen Jump protagonist out there.
I saw that and I was like,
so true.
That's right. Yeah. So Boba Fett's character is really one of only a handful to span both the prequel series and the original trilogy. So you have to imagine we're going to get to see a lot more of him before he goes away. Like we would be screaming at our TVs and throwing things at Disney's ghost, I guess. His ghost. So you guys, now that we have him back and we got to see explosions happen behind him and he was like doing all kinds of tricks and we had the laser thing that comes down and he was like pow, 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 pow. It was so cool. What are we going to see in the future with Boba Fett? What do you guys think? Matt.
Y'all.
Matt.
I'm gonna get some enemies here. Boba Fett is going to die.
Oh no!
This is the end. We're seeing the end of his story right now. He didn't
So
get to.
everything I just said, not true.
I think the series is it's gonna start from where he left off in the Sarlacc pit to now, and it's gonna fill that gap. And this is his ending. We see him like look, and I'm gonna explain just how it happens too. I gotta preface it by saying, look, Boba Fett. Let's be real. Boba Fett was just a grunt, dude. He was just like a grunt. He was hired by the Imperials. You know what I mean? Like he didn't really do anything that cool unless you're playing like the Boba Fett video game, which might have been Jango Fett. I don't remember, and I don't care. All I know is that
I'm not gonna call you out.
Thank you. It might have been Jango Fett, but I don't remember. All I know is that like this dude outside of like in the main canon, he hasn't really done anything that cool. He looks cool. He looks dope, but like you put him next to Din, and Din is such a more fleshed out character. We care about him. Like he's not even Mandalorian, dude. He's a clone of Jango Fett, who's like not Mandalorian. He's like a faux Mandalorian or something.
Yeah, and they explained that whole thing too, because he was like, "Why would I give you your armor back when you not my shit?"
Yeah, dude. So I think this is like, and I'm gonna explain exactly how it's because this is him going out in a blaze of glory. He's badass. Okay. He's getting his moment now, and we're gonna see him being a badass up to this moment. But they're gonna be pressed down by Moff Gideon's dark troopers on their ship. They're like, "Oh no, what are we gonna do?" And he's gonna think back. He's like, "Oh man, this guy's trying to save his basically adopted son. I gotta give him a chance. So he's gonna be like, "Hey, take the slave one. He's like, the ship's yours," and he's gonna walk out with like grenades, activate them all over it, and walk over and destroy, close the door behind him, and he's gonna blow himself up with all the dark troopers, and he's gonna give Mando the slave one because his ship got blown up.
Yeah.
So he's gonna have the slave one and fly around with in that, and then, as I said before, how Moff Gideon, he does in my version. He doesn't die. He almost dies, just choked, and they leave. But because Boba Fett blows up, Moff Gideon's going to get that freaking Mandalorian armor, and he's going to mock up his own thing, and he's going to be like an even bigger threat in Season 3.
Whoa.
How dare you.
I know right now so many people hate me, and that's okay. That's okay.
Not here, buddy. This is a safe space.
No.
Yeah, the second half of the episode, no one's watching.
It's true though. The only person I ever give shit to is Erik. That's great. I actually like that because even though people are gonna be mad at you, right? They're gonna be like, "There's no way they brought him back just to have him die in this season," blah blah. But you fixed that because you let him go out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah,
and
dude.
He's gonna be the only reason that Mando lives and Baby Yoda escapes. So like, they can't be that mad.
Thank you. Thank you guys. And like I said, this is just a take. So it's okay.
Just a take.
It's okay. I have a different favorite character. It's okay.
Matt, I'm giving you an additional rogie. It's going in your pile.
Thank you.
So far, you're in the lead. So Laura, you can take that lead away. What do you think?
First off, Matt, how dare you? Second, how dare you? How dare you? Anyway,
I was ready for this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give Boba Fett a different ending because he is my favorite drink. Okay. So this man has been through so much. Okay, he got like taken over by a Sarlacc pit. He lost his stuff to Jawas. So I feel like this character just needs to rest a little bit. But also, this is Din's story. We're not gonna see him come along with in the adventure because this is Din's story. He is the Mandalorian. So I believe that at first he's gonna be like, they save the child. He's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna just rest and everything. But because of my clone theory, he's gonna see the clones and get triggered because he is an unaltered clone, and he was among clones, and so he's gonna have flashbacks of like his time when he was training with the clones of his father. He is gonna be triggered to kind of either destroy the clones that the Empire is creating, or free them, because he understands that. Cool. So what we know, so I feel like we're gonna go their separate ways. So I feel like Bo-Katan's gonna do her Mandalore stuff. Din is gonna have the child with his robot's tummy and try to figure out Robo tummy. He's gonna figure out what he's gonna do with this child to kind of prevent it from fully going Sith. Like, he always makes friends, but they always go their own way, and then we come back together. So I feel like that's going to be with Boba Fett, where he's like, okay, Mando, you figure it out. Our connection thing I owe you is done. I got you the child. Yeah. We good. But my task now is to help the clones, or free the clones, or destroy the clones, because, cloning is bad.
I love a leftist, socialist liberation agenda. Free them all.
And then he dies.
And
at the end.
Okay, so you're off. Then
how dare you?
Anything about like liberating a bunch of people who are under the rule of someone else, like.
And Marina, maybe they are more comfortable being under the subjugation. Is this not more comfortable? Isn't this not the better way, as Loki would say, to be in the rule? I realize I'm making the argument that they want to be in cages. No one wants to be in cages. I'm just saying the clones, a lot of clone troopers liked their life, until Order 66 made them all crazy.
But you know what? This is like going deep, but I think it's either Plato or Socrates. It's about the story of the cave. Somebody in the cave. Yeah,
Plato's allegory of the cave, and then Socrates was his student or teacher.
So do you want to? I don't know. Literally, I have a master's degree in rhetoric, and I'm supposed to know that, and I don't remember. But do you want to live in the cave, or do you want to realize that there's a world outside the cave and go out? And some people, when they hear that story, they want to stay in the cave.
That's right. It's Cypher in The Matrix, right? That delicious piece of filet mignon. Ignorance is bliss, baby. Yeah.
Who knows?
He's giving them a choice. And I like that he gets his own path. He gets his own story.
Yeah, they can't afford to hit Morrison for any longer.
That's great. I'm giving you an additional Rogie. Erik, what say you?
Oh, okay. Well, first off, Matt, how dare you? And also, second off, Laura, how dare you? Marina, also, how dare you, Marina? For bringing politics into this second half of the show that no one watches.
Have you ever met me?
Have you ever seen Star Wars too?
No, I'm just really good at guessing what these things are about.
Yeah, oddly enough, he never has.
Never. So here's my theory for Boba Fett. I think in the short term, maybe in season 3, Boba Fett is going to help Bo-Katan liberate Mandalore. That seems like an alliance that makes sense. They both have a mutual interest to liberate that planet. However, I don't think the alliance will last. Boba Fett is too much of a loner. Bo-Katan is probably too stubborn. She's going to want to rule Mandalore the way she thinks as the heiress she should. Boba Fett's going to be like, what are you talking about? They come from different clans, right? And if you go to this Jango Fett comic that they referenced in this recent episode, the Death Watch, which is who Bo-Katan was originally with, hunted down the clan that Jango Fett was brought up in. They called themselves the True Mandalorians. They were on Concord Dawn. The Death Watch is from Concordia, from the Mandalorian Civil War. They fled to the moon of Concordia. Concord Dawn is another planet in the Mandalore system. And they chased down Jaster, who was Jango Fett's mentor. You could imagine Boba Fett still kind of having a sore spot about that history. And I think that old history, the fact that it was brought up in this episode, I think is going to be a wedge point between them. And I think going forward, it's far more interesting to have conflict rather than these characters just live in peace in their system after they liberate the planet, right? I hope they go the Game of Thrones model of like, yes, we helped each other sack the capital, but now that we are co-owning it, what are now the new rivalries, the new conflicts between us? So I would love to see kind of a new clan of Mandalorians form under Boba Fett's leadership that is kind of in this Cold War with Bo-Katan going forward.
Oh, wow.
That's
creates
sick.
kind of a conflict between them. And then it builds up to be a battle of the bows, a bow bowl, the Bo-Katan, Boba Fett. And we see those two fight in season 4 or something like that.
And then for peace, Boba Fett dies to bring peace, bridge the gap.
Hey, no!
That's great.
No!
Always.
Third off, how dare you?
No, Eric, how dare you use facts?
How dare you? Marina, how dare you? Viewer, how dare you? How dare you watch the second half of the episode?
Eric, I like that because you're giving a long-term direction for the show. And I mean like long-term, like Warring Clans is like, okay, we're invested in both of them and we need to see how both of them turn out. So you're not just being like, okay, season 2, it's like, okay, this is how we make this show last because there's no way Disney Plus is giving it up because it's such a success. So this gives it some legs and a direction to go. So I'm giving
legs
you
for days.
Legs for days. An additional Rogi.
Nice.
Okay. Matt is still in the lead with 4. Eric, you have 3. Laura, you have 3. So it's anyone's game. And we are about to decide the winner because anybody can switch rankings with our round of rogue questions. So here we go. Question number 1. Alfred Molina is coming back as Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man 3, with some sources saying Kirsten Dunst and Andrew Garfield are also returning. So the question is, what's the worst possible way they could use these characters? That's
a great question.
This is 2020, and we're going dark side, and we're going down.
Great. I'll say the worst way they could use those 3 actors is they are featured in the movie, but it's on-screen archive footage from other movies. Like Ned is watching Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and watching Jumanji and watching Hacksaw Ridge, and then they just appear on screen for just a second, but they still get paid for that.
That's great. I'm putting a Rogie in your pile. There it goes. Boop.
Yes.
For me, I think the worst way they can do it is like they try to do this weird clone conspiracy saga like they do in the comics, but like instead of actually making clones of the people inside of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's like slightly different clones that didn't quite work. You know what I mean? So it's like, we got
knockoff.
They said the worst way, Matt. They said the worst way.
So they're kind of gooey.
They're kind of gooey.
Yeah, they don't function totally.
I would laugh
if
at
an
people
eyeball pops out
on Hollywood Boulevard who are in the costumes, but like they're not quite the real costumes.
Yeah, smelly Joker.
Okay, Joker. So I think the worst way to use them, we make all these announcements about using Andrew Garfield, Kristen Dunst, and Alfred Molina, and this is how they're going to use them. Oh, it's Alfred Molina. Oh, it's Kristen Dunst. Oh, it's Andrew Garfield. And that's it. That's the worst
order
way.
Coffee and then leave.
Yeah, it's just like a flash. It's like, oh, Alfred Molina looks up, like, oh, what was that? And then that's it.
What if they?
We're anticipating so much. We're just saying like, and that's it.
They come in and they order a coffee, and then to camera they're like,
and then
they leave. Sips of coffee. Right. Someone has a dream about all 3 of them and then wakes up.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
There's even an anime like Spider Hams in there for some reason. Like,
please don't do it, but that would be the worst.
You know what? Just do Who Framed Roger Rabbit style.
Yeah,
but Spider-Man.
Okay, question number 2. The producers of Godzilla vs. Kong are reportedly upset that their movie is going to be released on HBO Max. So the question is, how do you... Can you tell that I didn't write these questions? How do you think Godzilla and King Kong feel about it? How do you think they feel about their movie being released on HBO Max? So Godzilla and King Kong, how do they feel about the fact that their movie is going to be released on HBO Max? That is the question.
I think they're going to be really extremely angry because the subscription to HBO Max is so expensive. So they're going to be so angry because that shit's expensive. And they're going to sign with Netflix instead.
They stomp their way over.
Because this is so much better. They get better award seasons anyway.
Yeah, I put a Rogu in your pile.
Thank you.
You know what? I think that they're not gonna be mad about it airing on a streaming platform. They've had their premieres, y'all. They've had like 50 plus years of premieres. So I think they might be a little numb to that. But, and to their credit, they might be mad about like am I going to get those residuals? Because that is in their SAG-AFTRA contract after all. So like they're going to be upset about like not getting those residuals.
Hey unions, hey unions.
That's right. So they got to figure that out.
They want their paper. They're monster
their agent like, I'm upset.
We're working on it.
I stomp.
I think Godzilla and King Kong are just gonna like text each other, and they don't know what HBO Max is. Like, what is HBO Max? It's just HBO. Do I still get it? And then they check it out, and then they both watch The Undoing, and they're like, what is Undoing? And then they're like, why did Nicole Kidman? I thought she was the killer. Like, why did they have her cross the street at the scene of the crime if that had nothing to do with it? Why did she have a helicopter at the end? That was seriously the final shot? Why all the red herrings? Well, how did he know to use a dishwasher if he's 10 years old? And then it's just
somebody give the lawyer a Golden Globe.
I want to be on that thread because everything you have said, I have said.
It's so good. That's a great thread.
That show makes no sense.
But I watched it.
I watched the whole thing.
I watched it 2 inches from my screen. I was like, what's gonna happen?
And Hugh Grant's like he's so trusting usually, and now it's like, ooh, did he?
He got me.
He got me.
He got me.
That whole show got me. There was 12 different better theories I had for that show than what it ended up being. I won't say what it ended up being, but
guess what? The winner is, it was a tie, but because Matt is my personal friend, he wins!
Whoa! Oh my gosh! Thank you so much for not killing me for my Boba Fett statement!
No, you only get support.
Thanks,
great,
man.
Guys.
Ugh.
Yes, and congratulations on your first time being on the show. So you get to win because you're my favorite. And also, suck it, Erik. Guys, that's it for this episode of Rogue Theory. So thank you to our guests. Thank you to Laura. Thank you to Erik. Thank you to Matt.
Thank you, Marina.
Thank you. Of course. Guys, follow Erik on social media. Follow Matt. Matt, what's your handle?
At the Matt Acevedo.
And Laura, what's your handle?
At L Sirikul. Sirikul.
Yes, follow them both. Follow me at Marina Mastros. And guys, do not forget to subscribe to the Rogue Theory podcast because you will get that before it comes out on YouTube. Stay tuned to the YouTube channel, though, for this and other shows. Follow us on Twitter at New Rockstars. We are out there and we are doing it. Yeah!
We're doing it!
Yeah!
Blue Daddy, Blue Daddy.
Thrawn Daddy,
Look
Thrawn
up the fan art. You won't regret it.
The long, black, luxurious hair waving in the wind.
Yeah, that's right. Blue where it counts.
It's
God.
No blue chew needed for Thrawn Daddy.
God damn it.